Good morning to all of you. Have a nice day. So let us start today's class. Today we are going to discuss on a topic yoni arshas. So the topic name, as you know, the yoni arshas is made up of two words, yoni and arshas. Yoni, the word yoni indicates the female genital tract, and the word arshas is a disease where there is a mass type or some muscular protuberances is formed. Usually arshas are seen in the guda pradesha, but it can also be seen in the yoni pradeshas. And in this main disease, the location is considered as the mamsa or the muscular tissue. So yoni also consists of mamsa. That's why in the yoni also these yoni arshas are formed. So Charaka, Sushruta, Harita, Vagbhata, they have described yoni arshas along with the description of general arshas. Charaka, while giving the locations of arshas, has included the yoni pradesha or the generative passage also in the list of the adhisthana of the arshas. As the disease arshas is located in the mamsa, here in the yoni you will also find the mamsa. Yoni also consists of mamsa. So but later on he has clarified that the name arshas be given only to the protuberances located in the Gudavali, and in other words, except the reference of location, Charaka has not given any detailed description, whereas Sushruta, explaining the pathogenesis, he has given the pathogenesis of the arshas. Also has said that the vitiated doshas getting localized in the Gudavalis have described initially the disease arshas situated in the Gudavalis, that is the piles. However, after this general description, he has mentioned the other locations also, including the yoni pradeshas, for the presence of arshas, and has also given short description of the samprapti, etiopathogenesis of the arshas are situated in the other parts of the body. So Sushruta has mentioned that the arshas not only locates in the Guda Pradesha, but they are also found in the other places of the body, just like the Yoni Pradesha. Harita has also referred to the location of arshas in the Yoni Pradesha or generative passages. Both the Vagbhatas have included Meghra etc. for the locations of arshas. Aruna Datta, explaining the Meghra etc. words, have included the Yoni Pradeshas also. Both these authors have clearly mentioned that the detailed description of these arshas situated in different body parts would be given along with the description of other diseases of that body part. Okay, so with the above description, it is clear that due to the resemblance in the shape of a muscular protuberance of the reproductive organs with that of the arshas of anal region, the classics have enumerated both at one place only because of the resemblance in the shape of the arshas, because the arshas, it is a muscular protuberant shape, and here the masses which are rising from the yoni etc. are also look similar to the arshas. That's why only because of the similarity in the resemblance they have included it under the name of arshas, but its samprapti clinical features and the complications of the yoni arshas or the arshas of the reproductive organs are totally different from the description of arshas in general. On this very subject, the matter available exclusively for the arshas of reproductive system is given here. So coming to the description of the yoni arshas. Yoni arshas के निदान लक्षण and upadrava, etiopathogenesis, clinical features and complications of the yoni arshas. So this is mentioned by Sushruta and the Vagbhata. The quotation goes like this: Kupitastu dosha योनिम अभिप्रपन्ना सुकुमारान दुर्गंधान पिचीलान रुधिरास्रावश छत्रा आकारान करीरांजनयन्ति ते तु योनिम उपघ्नन्तिम आर्तवम च. So this is mentioned by Sushruta, and even Vagbhata has given the quotation: Janayanti Chatra Sannibhaha Te Arshasam Upayuksheya Ghranti Bhagartavam. So here the pathogenesis of this yoni arshas goes like this. They say that kupitastu dosha means the aggravated doshas, yoni ma abhiprapanna means they whatever the doshas, three dosha, when they are getting aggravated they starts coming or reaching the yoni pradesha, yoni or the reproductive organs, then they gets localized in the rakta and mams of yoni. So their location is rakta and mams of the yoni pradesha, and they produces umbrella shaped muscular sport. Chhatra akara kariranjana. Karira means the muscular protuberances which resembles the shape of chhatra akara. Chhatra is chhatri, yes, obviously it is like umbrella shaped muscular spots are produced, and which are associated with how they are. The lakshanas of those kariras are they are Pichila, Sukumaram, Durgandham, Rudirasrava. Means they have Pichilata, that is the unctuousness, foul smelling blood discharges comes. Durgandhi, Pichila, Rudirasrava. So the discharges, the nature of discharges from those spots are foul smelling, unctuous, blood mixed discharges, and they are Sukumara, means they are soft in nature. And in the last point, in the last word of the quotation, they says mention that yoni mupagnantim artavam cha. Yoni and artava upagnanti, that is, if they are neglected or not treated properly, these destructs the upagnanti, means they destruct the yoni and artava. Yoni and artava, whereas Vagbhatta have mentioned in place of yoni has used the word bhaga and artava, whereas Sushruta has mentioned yoni and artava. So if it is neglected, if these arshas are not treated, then they can destruct the yoni or bhaga and the artava, is mentioned by the Acharya Sushruta and Acharya Vagbhatta. Thus, the adhisthana of these yoni arshas is Rakta and Mamsa, mentioned by Vagbhatta. Their shape resembles just like Chhatra Akara or the umbrella shape. The Lakshanas are, or the nature of discharges are, foul smelling, unctuous, sticky and blood mixed discharges. And then their Upadrava is Bhaga and Artava Nasha, or Yoni and Artava Nasha. Coming to the next point, Yoni Arshas Chikisa, the treatment of Yoni Arshas. Sushruta has not given any specific treatment for the arshas of the reproductive organs. However, in prescribing the general principles of treatment of arshas, he says that these are cured by the use of four things. One is the Chaturvidham Arshasam Sadhane Upayah. चतुर्विधाम अर्शसाम साधनोपायः तथ्यथा भेषजम शारो अग्निशस्त्रम इति. भेषजम शारो अग्निशस्त्रम इति. So as specific for the yoni arshas, he has not given treatment, but he has given the treatment of general arshas. There he has mentioned the arshas, the disease arshas is curable by four methods. Chaturvidham sadhanam, four methods. That is, first is with the help of bheshaja, that is with the help of medicine. Second with the help of shara, and third with the help of agni or cauterization, and fourth with the help of shastra or the instruments or excision or the surgery, you can say. So what are the different types of arshas which need different types of these treatments. So first of all, the bheshaja sadhya arshas. So the arshas, they have mentioned in the quotation, the tatra chirakala jatan alpan dosham lingam upadravani bheshaja sadhyani. That is, which are the arshas which are treatable with the medicines or the bheshaja. The arshas which are of recent origin, associated with less vitiation of doshas, alpa dosham, having few or the less clinical features, alpa lakshanam, alpa upadravam, having the less complications, are considered to be curable with the medicines, or they are considered as bheshaja sadhya. Next line, they have mentioned the shara sadhya. Which are the arshas are considered as shara sadhya. So the quotation is mrudu prasruta avagadhan uchreitani sharena. That means the arshas which are soft, mrudu, spreading, or the white, that is which are spreading, prasrista. Then avagada means which have the deep root or deep rooted, and uchritani means protuberant, are considered as curable with shara, or they are considered as shara sadhya arshas. And in the next line, they have mentioned the agni sadhya arshas, the nature of agni sadhya arshas. Karkasha sthiram pruthuk kathinanya agnena. That is, the arshas which are kathina, which are rough. Karkashata means roughness, which are sthira, which are fixed, which are pruthu means which have the big size, fixed and the big size. Kathina is which are hard, are considered as curable by the Agni. They are considered as Agni Sadhya. And the last one, the Shastra Sadhya. The nature of Shastra Sadhya Arshasas are Tanu Mulan Ushritani Kledavantin cha Shastrena. That is, the Arshasas which are having Tanumula. Tanumula means the thin root or the thin stem. They are protuberant, Kledani, Uchritani, and moist, that is Kledavanti, moist, are considered as curable by the Shastra or the instruments or surgery. On the basis of this description, yoni arshas had to be considered as curable by Shastra as they have thin stem, that is a shape resembling umbrella, or thin stem or spreaded upwards, or protuberant and the moist. Vagbhata 1 says that for the treatment of arshas, the physician should use Shastra, Shara and Agni after using proper purifying measures. So Vagbhata says first Shodhana Karma should be done, then Deha Shuddhi should be done, followed by Shastra, Shara, Agni Sadhyate. And then he has considered as having considering the condition of the patient and the amount of vitiation of doshas, the wound thus produced should be treated with the Tuthadi ointment prescribed for Upadamsha. So first Vagbhata, what he says is, first you have to go for the Sharira Shodhana, followed by the Shastra, Shara, Agni. Shastra, Shara, Agni. Bheshaja is not mentioned. After applying the Shastra, Shara, Agni, there will be formation of a wound, and this wound is to be treated as with the line of treatment of Upadamsha. How you treat Upadamsha wound? Likewise, or Vruna Chikitsa is to be done after application of Shastra, Shara, Agni is mentioned by Vagbhata first. And Vagbhata second has mentioned that these arshas should also be treated by the Chedana and Dahana. So he says it is to be treated with Chedana and Dahana just like other arshas. Chedana means the excision, cutting and removing out. Dahana means cauterization, burning, okay, burn that arshas part. And then the treatment prescribed for Upadamsha should be used. So after the Chedana Bhedana, the wound is formed, Vruna is formed. So for that Vruna, Upadamsha or Chikitsa is to be given. So above description clarifies that the yoni arshas should be removed by means of Shastra, Agni or Shara, and then for cleansing and healing of the wound, the treatment prescribed for the Upadamsha should be used. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज योनि अर्शस के निर्हरण शारा अग्नि या शस्त्र कर्म से के पश्चात उत्पन्न व्रणा की चिकित्सा उपदंश वर्णित चिकित्सा, दैट इज द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ वुंड प्रोड्यूस आफ्टर द रिमूवल ऑफ योनि अर्शस डिस्क्राइब अंडर द उपदंश. सो फर्स्ट यू हैव टू गो फॉर द शस्त्र शारा अग्नि, एनी ऑफ द थ्री मेथड्स. आफ्टर अप्लाइंग these, after removing the yoni arshas, the wound is formed, the vruna is formed, and for that vruna upadamsha chikitsa is to be given. So what is the chikitsa? Let us see. Washing and irrigation of the wound with a decoction made with the tender leaves of jambu, amra, sumana, nipa and white kambojiki, stem leaf of shalaki, badari, bilva, palasha, tinisha and the Shiri Vrukshas, Trifala should be done. That is, this is all this decoction can be used for washing the wound, okay, for prakshalana you can say. And then for healing, the oil medicated with these very drugs, or else with these drugs along with the goji, vidanga, madhuka and sarvagandha group of drugs should be used. So with these med drugs you have to make a kashaya and can be used for washing, and with the same drugs you can prepare an oil which can be used for the application. Otherwise you can make an oil adding the other drugs also for the application. So taila is to be applied. The ointment, then they have mentioned different lepas. First one is about the Tuthadi lepa. Tuthadi lepa they have mentioned for the application. How to prepare this Tuthadi lepa is the ointment with the finely powdered Tutha, Gairika, Lodra, Ela, Manova, Ala, Rasanjana, Harenu, Pushpa, Kasisa, Saurashtri and the Saindwa mixed with the madhu or honey heals ulcer very quickly. So Tuthadi lepa is very useful in healing the wound. Then another different ointments they have mentioned. An ointment of the wound either with the finely powdered stem bark of Darvi, Shanka, Tarkyoshuta, Lakshya mixed with the cow's milk, express juice of cow dung, honey, oil and grita, or else powdered Lakshya, Draksha and Atasi or Shaileya and Tarkakshayaja mixed with the honey is to be used. And next, triphala, kept between the broken earthen pots, heated till it is not burned, or else the properly burned should be taken and mixed with the ghrita and used. So these are the different ointments along with tuthadi lepa, etc. Different lepas they have mentioned for the application. First they have mentioned the prakshalana, then they have mentioned the oil preparation for the application, then different lepas have been mentioned here. So coming to the comments, yoni ashes disease is characterized with the presence of multiple umbrella shaped thin stem and white top type of muscular spores in any part of the reproductive organs, having foul smelling, unctuous, blood stained discharges or bleeding. The treatment is the local destruction by means of shara, that is application of strong alkalis to destroy these muscular spores, agni, that is a thermal cauterization, and shastra, that is with the help of surgery we have to excise the muscular growth. Thus, form wound requires treatment for its healing. If not treated properly, the disease destructs the artava and the yoni or the bhaga. Some workers have tried to equate these yoni ashes with the polyps of the reproductive organs. Polyps arise from the uterus or the cervix, the organs which are included under the word yoni. Most of the polyps have elongated shape not resembling to umbrella and the muscular spores. The specific shape of yoni ashes has been probably mentioned by authors to differentiate these from the Guda ashes or Nasa ashes. Fibroid polyps of the uterus and adenomatous polyps of the cervix do have a thin stem and the white top are covered with the small uneven protuberances. Sometimes are also branched. So these protuberances do not resemble the muscular spores, yet these are the muscular protuberances. So both these polyps are characterized with the bleeding and the blood stained discharges. So if infected, they can also smell foul smelling. The foul smell also comes from it. Surgical excision is the only treatment for these types of polyps. Considering above facts, yoni ashes can be equated with the uterine or the cervical polyps. However, these polyps do not destruct the artava, rather often they cause excessive loss of menstrual blood. If the Artavanasha is considered as a failure or the absence of its main function or the end result, that is conception, then this symptom can be accepted for polyps because both these polyps do cause infertility. After surgical removal of these polyps, the wound does not need any further treatment for its healing. If due to the surgical removal, the destruction or the injury to the uterus or cervix is accepted, which in fact does not occur, even then destruction of bhaga described by Vagbhata cannot be accepted. On the basis of specific shape and clinical features, etc., these yoni ashes may be equated with the papilloma, cervical or vaginal papillomas, which develop either from the remnants of the muscular tract separated during the labor and then congested and forms actual warts. In these conditions, blood stained discharges are also noted. Surgical removal is the only treatment, and then the produced wound requires treatment for its healing. However, simple papillomas do not destruct again the artava and the bhaga. Actual warts or the condylomata acuminata are always seen multiple develops in the cervix, vagina or vulva. They have the thin stem with the white top like an umbrella. The top is covered with the muscular spores. Constant irritation either by the gonorrheal or other discharges or the ulcers and the unhygienic conditions of the vulva or the vagina, they favors the development of these warts. So up to the mid of this 20th century, gonorrhea was considered as its etiology, but after some years it was accepted that these warts can also develop in the absence of gonorrhea. However, in the majority of the cases, both these coexist. Means sometimes gonorrhea also occurs, sometimes without gonorrhea also these type of warts can be seen. Now the disease condylomata acuminata is considered to be caused by a virus. It is considered as a viral infection. When these develop in the cervix and the vagina, unctuous blood discharges are also seen. Since this disease was considered as caused or associated with the gonorrhea, and in gonorrhea one may develop the artavanasha, that is the amenorrhea, due to the complete destruction of endometrium after the pyomata Pyometra means accumulation of the pus inside the uterine cavity, pyometra. And anovulation, that is arthavanasha after acute salpingopheritis as a sequelae of gonorrhea. Thus in this disease presence of arthavanasha can be accepted. So in this disease you will find the condylomata acuminata, you will find the complications of upadrava of arthavanasha. Application of substances likely to shrinken these warts, that is a shara, cauterization agni, and surgical removal shastra, are the only methods of treatment. Sometimes these warts involve the entire or the major portion of the vulva. Then the surgical shaving under the general anesthesia should be done. The produced wounds requires proper management for healing. Sometimes the formation of excessive scar tissue during the healing may considerably disfigure or destruct the vulva. Thus, the symptoms of bhaganasha can also be found, which is mentioned by Vagbhata. So, the in vulva ulcers known as the condylomata colata develop due to the syphilis, but these have no resemblance with the muscular spots and are treated only medicinally. Surgery is never indicated, so this cannot be correlated. Considering the specific shape, clinical feature, complication, that is arthava yoni bhaganasha, and the principles of treatment, that is the disease yoni arches, appears to be the description of papilloma, especially the condylomata acuminata of cervix, vagina and vulva. If the complications, that is the arthava and bhaganasha, are not given any importance, then these yoni arches can be considered as the polyps of the uterus and cervix, specifically the fibroid polyps and adenomatous polyps of the uterus and cervix respectively. So if you want to correlate only on the basis of the symptoms, it can be correlated with the polyps of the uterus and cervix, especially the bleeding polyps. See here in this diagram you can see the bleeding polyps. Polyps is nothing but a mass having with the pedicle. So the polyps which is coming from the uterus or the cervix, that is a hanging mass with the pedicle. So if it is infected, the blood may come out and the full smelling discharges can also be seen. This on the basis of lakshanas, it can be correlated with the polyps of uterus and cervix. Sometimes it can be correlated with the cervical and vaginal papillomas. Or if you want to see, go in deep, considering the upadravas of the yoni arshas, that is it distracts the bhaga, yoni and the arthava, then it is better, and its treatment, line of treatment, so it can be correlated with the warts or the condylomata acuminata developing in the cervix, vagina and vulva. In this diagram you can see the condylomata acuminata figure. So brief modern description about the condylomata acuminata. Condylomata are papillary lesions caused by the HPV virus, usually the type 6 and 11. These are usually multiple and can be contaminated from other parts of the body. They can be transmitted sexually. Associated vaginal discharges favors their growth, and so does pregnancy. Typically they grow in the clusters along a narrow stalk, giving it a cauliflower appearance, but at times the stalk may be broad and the stalk thick. The condylomata may at times spread to the vagina and even the cervix. Anatomical distribution of anogenital HPV infection is cervix 70%, vulva 25%, vagina 10% and anus 20%. The lesion should be differentiated from the syphilitic condylomata or the vulval carcinoma. Very rarely it becomes malignant. The conditions known to predispose it to the malignancy is the immunosuppression, diabetes, pregnancy and the local trauma. There may be association between HPV infection and the malignant epithelial transformation of the cervix, vagina and vulva. So it is usually associated with HPV type 16, 18, 45 and 56. Treatment: HPV vaccine type 6 and 11 can prevent 90% of these condylomata, and most low risk and 2/3 of high risk HPV infections are spontaneously eradicated over a 24 months of period. Different treatment modalities are used like cryotherapy, electrocautery like our Agni Karma, laser therapy, surgical excision like what we call it as Shastra Karma or the Chedana in Ayurveda, and we can also use the Bheshaja, that is the topical application of the use of 5-fluoro uracil trichloroacetic acid or intralesion interferon. So this is the treatment of condyloma acuminata or the genital warts. This completes the topic Yoni Arches. Thank you.